In today's Urbandoned video, we visit a large abandoned train maintenance depot in the UK. The imposing property is just as impressive from its exterior as it is when you step inside. Within the dilapidated structure, we discover various trains that have been put out of use, sat deteriorating inside the collapsing building. Each carriage is from a different time period, making every inch of the exploration interesting. Join us as we venture inside to find out what remains. Remember to click subscribe and press the notification bell to never miss a video. Last time we asked a question, we wanted to know, would you like to see more historic ruins with little left inside? We had many helpful responses, but decided to feature this one from Ali in today's video. He wants to see buildings of character, whether historical or provided by remaining features, rather than empty shells. We agree and will only show a ruin if there is one or two exceptional details on offer. This week we are asking, would you like to see more vehicle graveyards, as they are popular sites that we haven't covered often. They can be small and not enough for a full documentary. Let us know why in the comments to possibly feature in our next upload. In the early morning of a cold winter day, we headed for the old warehouse that runs beside a functioning train line. Sticking to the opposite side, it appeared that we could make it up to the building unseen. Visibly damaged, with boards on each window, it was clear that despite being joined to tracks buzzing with activity, few had entered the site for years. It seemed fairly sealed until we found a breakthrough and made it in. Jesus Christ. I've never seen anything like this. This place is one of a kind. So destroyed though. I'm hoping that the trains will be in good condition in terms of what's inside, but also quite decayed. There's two main train carriages, this modern one, and then this one, which I'm way more interested in, as it says first class on all the windows, so it's going to be quite royalty-like in there. Look forward to getting in. Wandering between the ruined trains was a surreal experience. A mix of falling rain slipping between the holes in the ceiling, peaceful ambience of birds nesting in the rafters, and the eerie silence of a place vacant for decades formed a stunning scene that felt refreshing to us. The long building boasts two passenger carriages that would have been inhabited by the public, as well as multiple freight cars, some seemingly more dated than others. Whether the trains were being stored here for maintenance, we don't know, but clearly they hadn't been worked on for a long time. Some had even derailed at points, which might signify their future. Going into that control room structure. It's all made out of wood. There's hardly any floor left. A cooker. Pretty cool though. You can imagine the workers looking out into the train shed. Our first target was the blue train that stretched the full length of the warehouse, snaking over the two tracks that run parallel along it. It is a Mark II car and would have been built at some point between the 60s and 70s. Inside one of the trains. Looks very stripped. Hopefully some will be in better condition than this. You can see the seats are still here though, just not really in one piece. There's all the cushions. This is pretty cool. This is the buffet car. And this is what the staff's kitchen would look like. very small. They tried to cram in as much as they could. It all leads up to this desk where customers come. It's interesting to see it from another angle, really. I wonder when this train was put out of use. The way our first interior had appeared, we had concerns that the cars may have begun to get stripped. However, moments later, it turned out we were wrong. Just managed to shimmy up between these two cars. It takes you straight into this. It's much nicer. It's perfectly set up, as if it went out of use only yesterday. Sadly, it's not really an old, interesting train, but it's still very cool to see. I've only seen one set of cars like this before in the past, and that video's long gone off the channel. Here's a controller's seat again. Some other stuff. I feel like this is just space for storage and not a holding cell. It's the front of the train, so the cabin has to be somewhere. Here it is. Very sick how much they fit into this tiny room. It's almost claustrophobic in here. All the controls and gauges and what's necessary to run the train is here. Seeing the concise control panel for the modern carriage was very interesting, especially after seeing these sorts of spaces on a grand scale. At a guess, this car would have been sent to the shed over 20 years ago in the late 1990s. To contrast, beside the newer train lied an old brake van, which would be placed at the end of freight trains in the steam era to bring them to a halt, as older cars had no brakes. Look at this huge door where the trains would exit and enter. I wonder when the last time that was that this was opened. Go inside one of the really old ones. Looks like an engine. Yeah, or like a cabin, sorry, more. It's got the wheel anyway that the driver would turn. Just looks so old. I think I'm gonna have to try and get up this staircase. See the view of the trains from up high. It's so sketchy though. It's a gantry crane that runs parallel all the way along the warehouse, and it'll give the best view for sure. Fucking hell. Wow. Holy shit. It's definitely worth appreciating that the building itself is also really nice and old, with its arched windows and wooden roof. It's not just all about the trains. We do think that the warehouse itself was disused before becoming a maintenance structure for the train line. The dates of the types of trains doesn't match the decaying state of the building, so we assume workers would have dealt with the dangerous surroundings in order to keep their efforts in shelter. Next up, we took a break from the newer car and couldn't resist heading inside the first class boasting red Mark 1. Okay, now this is the one I'm excited for. Holy shit. It's already amazing. Wow. Private seating, but it just looks so luxury. My god. This is crazy. The size of the seats. Such difference between what you get on like the typical modern train with a standard fee. And all of them have these decorative napkins on. I don't know what you'd call them. Built in the 1960s, this is a much older car than the modern one we entered, which is definitely noticeable by its welcoming design and architecture. I only just noticed these light fixtures. The only downside to this car for us was that there wasn't nowhere near as much of it remaining as the blue train. One carriage was situated at one end of the shed, which contained an array of seats, one private booth and some toilets. After checking every inch of it for rare details, we made our way out and towards the final carriage we hadn't seen yet, which was located back in the blue train. Oh, this one's really decayed. Jesus. Still quite nice though. It's like the in-between of the first one we did and the first class one. Wow, look at the mould. There's like funky growing, I've never seen that before. And there's so much smashed glass. Despite being in decent condition, the progressive mould and our lack of respirators was enough reason to rush our time inside. It was nice to find features in all the separated trains that would, as a whole, make up one complete railroad vehicle, such as the controller's room, baggage area, buffet, toilets and a mail compartment. It was a different sort of sight to explore, but we enjoyed every minute of it, having never seen a complex like this before and not expecting to venture inside one in the UK. Following our departure from the carriage, we headed back onto another section of the gantry walkway, where we could take in the whole scene. With the maintenance depot located next to active tracks, we would anticipate that it won't stay like this forever, as its size and land could be used for something that would help the line. However, the structure is extremely destroyed in places and very outdated, so renovation would be difficult and costly. It is up to the owners of the building as to whether they want to make the plunge into a long, hard recovery process or demolish the warehouse to make use of its space. We hope you enjoyed joining us as we explored the property. If you did, feel free to like the video and subscribe to never miss a future upload. Here are some of our photographs captured at the abandoned transport shed. If you like the look of them, check out our Instagram page in the description where we post images of our explores months before they are shared on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Remember you can visit our new website and Discord server using the links below. See you next time.